Cappy.
Yes, sir.
What I was saying was...
Tell me. Talk to me.
Yeah, this San Antonio team is for real. Wemby is for real. This is the day Wemby became the best player in the league. And I think the entire league needs to be on notice now, which means if you're the Lakers, I think there is we talked about this with Windy yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Because the West is so unforgiving, there is a real possibility the Lakers could be a play-in team this year. And by the way, I would say that about a lot of teams in the West, not just them, but this is not going to be easy because I think San Antonio is a playoff team potentially, as long as they have relative health.
You say a playoff team?
Yes, like as in top 6.
Okay, let me ask you this, though. Do you think that what you saw last night, and I know maybe we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, it's game 1 of 82, like we may have gotten a little ahead of ourselves yesterday over the Lakers and the disappointment. But let me ask you.
The Lakers roster is not great.
We understand. So here's my question for you. Is San Antonio, after one night of what you saw, are they a championship caliber contender?
No, not yet, but they'll be there soon.
Okay. So this goes back to the Lakers for me, which is, do you think the Lakers are better than the Spurs?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? So there's like a question mark that you're not sure. You're not definitively
sure, but I definitely tell you, okay, Laker fans may remember Anthony Davis. It wasn't that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
He's really good. And by the way, he's excellent defensively. And Wemby pushed him around like he was a child. What do you think he's going to do to DeAndre Ayton and Jackson Hayes?
He's going to push them around like preschool children.
Correct.
Okay, right. So this is where I'm going. So the Lakers, in all honesty, based on Wemby, there's no way the Lakers are going to compete with them at least at that position. It doesn't mean the Lakers can't win a game against them.
No, of course not.
But they're not. They don't have. By the way, there's nobody like him. So
right.
If Anthony,
and by the way, you heard my last question to him. Stephon Castle, the reigning rookie of the year, that kid got better. Like, he's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was really good yesterday against a Dallas team who is really good defensively. Okay? Kyrie or not. Like, Kyrie obviously helps them on offense, and he's okay on defense. But, like, they're a good defensive team. Like, Jason Kidd told me that their expectation is to be a top 5 defensive team. And, by the way, based on their roster, they should be. And they toyed with them yesterday at times in the second half.
But if Anthony Davis is a top-flight defender in the NBA, and it's game 1 and he's fully healthy, and he's being bullied by a 20-year-old kid who had, thank you, 21, who has 5 more inches on him in height. And even though Anthony Davis may outweigh him, you used to say all the time, because I would say to you, why is Anthony Davis getting pushed around by some of these other centers in the Western Conference? Not guys that have 5 inches of height on him. And you would say, well, they're stronger than him. They're bigger than him. And I would always argue with you. And I go, wait a second. Bigger and stronger, what? And we watched him get bullied not by guys his similar size.
You called him soft, Cappy.
He is soft.
Let's be real.
He was soft. That's right. But what George is saying is that Anthony Davis, a top-flight defender, got bullied around by this guy. So if Anthony Davis, fully healthy in game 1, gets pushed around by Wemby, he's going to annihilate the Lakers because they don't have anybody anywhere near as good as Anthony Davis.
If you think DeAndre Ayton is going to match up against this guy, well, you got something coming, because there is, I mean, honestly, like, the only guys I think that can give him, like, maybe a healthy Embiid, right, can be in there with him, because he's even stronger than AD. I don't know. Like, maybe Jokic, because of he'll wear on him offensively, you know what I mean? And he'll wear him down offensively in the sense that, like, Wemby's going to have to exert a lot of energy on the defensive end against someone like Jokic. And maybe that's it. Like, that in regards to a tough matchup for him. I just don't see anyone else. At least, Chet Holmgren, historically, as they were growing up, they played against each other a lot in international competition in the under-19 for Team USA. So he has, while he's not as big as Wemby and maybe not even as strong as Wemby, he at least has the understanding of Wemby's game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because they've played against each other since they were children. So maybe I'd give him an outside shot to be competitive. But that's about it. You know what I mean? And I would say AD, the next time he plays him, will do a better job. Like, I think AD was caught off guard on some of this stuff yesterday. Like, he was like, oh, this guy's added way more to his game than I thought.
Well, the other thing is that Wemby can shoot over AD. And guys like AD and Jokic are not accustomed to having guys that much taller where they have to shoot over them. And so I just think this, and this is what I was trying to explain to you yesterday, my position on the Lakers is you got to play the long game, not the short game, because, again, I wonder if your perspective has changed.
Well, but I don't think the long game matters now either because he's only going to get better.
Okay, so look.
So that's why you have to play the I would disagree. I'll tell you on the other side. Let's go to break. I will tell you on the other side why I think playing the long game actually may not be the way to go in this situation. I think it could be quite the opposite. Cappy, you and I before the break were talking about
long game versus
Lakers.
Short game, yeah.
Long game versus short game.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think that, because you've been making this case that they're playing this long game, 2027, blah, blah, blah. Yo, in 2027, you're not beating Wemby. Your best chance is right now, where his team is really young around him, because in 2027, they're like the Thunder on steroids. So you better make moves now, because it's going to be his league in 2027.
But what are you going to do? I mean, there's only one guy of his height and skill level, and you mentioned Chet Holmgren.
Listen, you do everything it takes to get Giannis now if you're the Lakers. Everything right now it takes to get Giannis. Whatever that takes, do it.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. You ready? You're going to have to trade LeBron and Bronny.
No, you can't trade LeBron.
Okay, but just hear me out. You got to move LeBron and Bronny, and then you got to take on Giannis and his brothers. So you got to bring in Giannis and his brothers, and then you got to give up dad and son.
I was going to actually ask you that a while ago, Cappy, like a week ago when it happened. Like, which one is more egregious, do you think? Is it LeBron bringing on Bronny or like Giannis having to bring on all his brothers?
Oh, let me tell you something. I will tell you it's not LeBron. How about that?
Okay. Fair enough.
I would tell you, I of course would tell you that not knowing of whether or not Giannis's two brothers can play or they can't play, which I suppose they probably can't, because if they could, they'd probably be on somebody else's roster. I think the LeBron thing is worse. I do. Just because you gave Bronny a 4-year guaranteed contract. I mean, at least in Milwaukee, what you're trying to do is you're trying to at least keep him long term, Giannis. So you're trying to do everything you can to make him happy. With the Lakers, you're not really trying to keep LeBron long term, are you?
Well, they were at that time.
Well, bad idea. That's all I can tell you. Bad idea.
Plus, his brothers take up
literally
2 spots.
you literally contradicted yourself, but it's okay.
How did I do that? What did I do?
Because you said they weren't trying to keep him long term. At that time, they were. Luka wasn't part of the equation at that point.
Oh, that's fair. They were trying to keep LeBron very happy. That I'll give you. But if I'm Milwaukee, I'm doing everything humanly possible to make Giannis happy and comfortable. What? We got to sign your brothers? Yeah, they don't play basketball. Doesn't matter. Sign them. I mean, they're tall.
Anyway. Yes, they're tall. Thank you, Cappy. They're tall. But
so wait, so you think? Let me just get.
So
this straight,
I think they need to go all in now. I mean, granted, they're not going to get Giannis, so it's not going to happen. But they need to do whatever it takes to augment this team now, because, and the Giannis thing may be a fait what is it? What is the phrase? A fait accompli, right? Is that the way?
Yes.
It's a good phrase. We'd have to, go to the Google interpreter to find out, the Latin to the English.
I don't believe Giannis. I don't believe they can make a trade for Giannis this year, so that's not possible. But
okay, so let me ask you this:
they need to do. Listen to me. Let me say it.
Go ahead.
They need to do whatever it takes to win now, because they're not going to win later.
Okay. All right. So here's my question for you. You ready?
Because here's the thing: it's not just Wemby. Yeah. It's the Thunder, who we already know are here, and then Wemby. And then whatever the Rockets become, you know what I'm saying? Like, even with and after Durant, like, they're still good. But to me, the Thunder and the Spurs are going to own the Western Conference for a while.
Okay. So first and foremost, you ready? When the Spurs were in their dynasty era, right?
Yeah. And wait. I forgot about Jokic still. Like, yeah, he's still around. Like that's not a small thing either.
No, but did you think that the rest of the NBA, when the Spurs were, again, in the Tim Duncan era, do you think that the NBA looked at them as insurmountable or unbeatable?
No, because Shaq and Kobe were there. They don't have Shaq and Kobe now.
Right. So here's my question, though, for you. Do you think that next year or going forward, as Wemby gets older, stronger, better, more experienced, et cetera, do you think the rest of the NBA is going to look at them as insurmountable, unbeatable?
I mean, San Antonio historically has done a really good job of figuring out how to put good pieces around good players and great players. So, insurmountable? No, because, nothing is is ever guaranteed. But generally speaking, it's going to be his league. And what I mean by that is he's going to win championships, and you're going to have to go through him. And just like you're going through the Thunder right now, you're going to have to go through him and them. Again, it's going to be harder later.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You ready? What can, and I don't mean can as in not salaries and all the things we always talk about. You can't move this guy, you can't move that guy. I'm just talking in theory. What would the Lakers do around Luka to make them be able to compete with San Antonio and Oklahoma City? And by the way, you bring up Denver. I mean, it's deeper than just the two young teams with the young, still up-and-coming superstars. In theory, what would the Lakers do when they have a player like Luka to say, with all these other pieces, now we can go beat those guys?
They would need a real threat in the middle. Or at the very least, someone who is like a Giannis. They would need Giannis or Jokic or someone like that.
Okay, so minus those two guys, at least on our current radar, there's nothing they can do to beat those teams, is what you're kind of telling me.
Well, no, but what I'm telling you is this. The way San Antonio loses now is just the rest of the guys beyond Wemby are not ready. So that's how you beat them now. Mm-hmm. I mean, he can't score 120 by himself. So, that's how you beat them now. But those young guys, Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, those guys are only going to get better. They have De'Aaron Fox, who's a really good player. They're only going to get better as a team. Just like the Thunder are here. So what I'm saying is you have to take advantage of now. Whatever that now is, whatever you can make happen to give yourself a shot now, your chances of winning later are going to be smaller, Cappy.
I'm just wondering if I'm in Rob Pelinka's shoes right now, and I'm hearing this conversation. Does he think to himself, Sedano's right? These guys are young guys, and they're still up and coming, and we've already seen Oklahoma City and what they did last year. So they're a tough team for us to beat, and they're young and up and coming. And then you got Wemby and these other young players around him in San Antonio, and they're going to improve. Should we do what Sedano is saying, which is we got to try and win right now, and this year is it, because after this year we're going to have bigger problems? Or should we be thinking to ourselves, the longer-term future, how the hell are we going to get past these guys when we don't have anybody near the size and the skill of Wemby, or really Chet Holmgren for that matter, or Jokic for that matter? And if you can't get Giannis or Jokic, the two names you just gave us, what do you do then? Real question.
You better find someone who can play big, because you can't. You can't. You got to find someone that can play big. Or at the very least right now, that can defend the perimeter at a high level, because that's the way you probably beat the Spurs, is you make sure the others have to try to, you can control the others, because Wemby can't score 120 by himself. And with the Thunder, they're a perimeter-oriented team in the sense that outside of Holmgren and Hartenstein, who's a limited player as a big, they don't have a lot of size. They're just very long and athletic. So you need to add perimeter, another big, and you need to add perimeter help defensively.
You think Golden State thinks that this year they are championship contenders because even though they also don't have, I mean, again, I don't think anybody's got the bodies of what, Wemby or Holmgren have. Do you think that Golden State looks at it and goes, well, but we can drop bombs from all over the place and we can maybe outscore these guys with three-pointers and we are a championship contender. You think they're thinking that?
The Lakers?
No, Golden State.
Yeah, Golden State thinks that. But Golden State has good perimeter play. Like, they have Draymond Green, who's one of the best defensive players in the sport. Even though he lacks size, he has savvy, guile, whatever you want to call it. Some people would say maybe in borderline dirty. And he's going to struggle, against Wemby too. But at the very least, he's the type of guy, and I'm not calling him Dennis Rodman, but he'll get in your head, Cappy. Like, he will do things to frustrate you. That's his game, right? And on defense particularly. But, yeah, like the Warriors at least have – the Warriors have way better depth, in my opinion, than the Lakers.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking to myself, okay, you come into the season, you had your entire offseason, you made the moves that you could make. I thought yesterday Wendy did a really, really good job of explaining to us from his perspective, hey, with the resources that the Lakers had and with the available players that were out there, it was a good value, DeAndre Ayton. He's not a great player necessarily, but he's also not a $35 million player. Marcus Smart was a nice addition based on what his history is and what his salary is. These are good values. That's how Wendy presented it yesterday. But being good values are ways to fill out rosters. They're not ways to win championships. So I think what I'm hearing you say, though, George, is that going through the offseason, making the moves they made, building around Luka as best they could, they're going to have to revamp the roster in season. And the likelihood of revamping the roster in season and then going on to win a championship, I don't give that very high odds.
Well, I don't know, but you can't just stand pat, is what I would say. You can't just stand pat at this point. Are we going to break already?
No, we're just doing a